Hey, what's going on, man? It's Vash. I just watched a series called Alice in Borderland. It was new to me because it was just on AnimeFreak.tv or whatever. It's episodes 1 and 2. I watched episode 1 and I feel like I had to talk about it because that shit was crazy as shit. So, apparently, these motherfuckers got pulled into this other world, the Borderland, and they have to play these games to survive. And at first I was thinking it was on some Death Parade sort of shit, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, okay, they gotta play the game to survive and all that sort of shit. But unlike Death Parade, these motherfuckers ain't dead. They're alive, and they have to play the game in order to fucking live. And for the most part, these games are hard as fuck. It's not like they're playing darts or they're bowling or they're playing cards or some shit like that. It's like they have these problems on these fortune slips that are just unsolvable. Yeah, it's just completely ridiculous. Like, I felt bad for the character in this game because when it first starts off, the main character, his name is Arisu. That's why it's called Alice in Borderland, because I think Arisu is the Japanese pronunciation of Alice. So it starts off with him and he's just kind of doing his monologue or whatever. And he's talking about how he's just, an NPC, a non-playable character in the village, and he has this boring sort of life, and he wishes for more excitement and all that sort of stuff to happen. And at first I was thinking it's gonna be like some Sword Art Online type of shit, because in the background you kind of see an RPG, like a role-playing game, and I was just like, okay, it's gonna be sort of like Sword Art Online. But no, it turns into like some Kingdom game sort of shit, you know what I'm saying? Some Death Parade sort of shit. Because they wake up. First, it's 3 characters. Adisu, like I said. The other dude's name is like Karube or something like that. And the shorter guy with the short hair and the funny looking face with eyes are always closed, his name is Chota. And they just kind of sit like, it looked like they at a train station or something like that. They're just kind of somewhere out in the city. You can tell it's some urban part of Tokyo, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Shinjuku or Shibuya or something like that. And they see like a fireworks show just happening. And they just kind of like, what the fuck? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Why are there a fireworks show happening? But then like one firework is just like huge, like a humongous firework. And it explodes and you just kind of see Arisu just kind of like, oh, what the hell? And then he wakes up on a beach covered in sand, and there's nobody in this town. It's just an abandoned town. The food is spoiled and type of stuff, and they just kind of are excited by it at first. You know what I'm saying? The big guy, Kotobe, he's kind of like, you guys need to like realize what's going on right now. You can be optimistic, and that's fine, but you need to realize, reality gonna set in sooner or later. I don't know how old these characters are because 2 of them are wearing high school uniforms, but which is Arisu and Chota, but Kotobe isn't wearing a uniform. He's wearing like a green jumpsuit or something like that. He's just wearing some regular clothes or whatever, but he's smoking. And Arisu makes it a point to grab liquor when he was inside of the convenience store. So and he was drinking a Johnny Walker Red Label. So I'm like, he was drinking whiskey, you know what I mean? So I don't know how old he's supposed to be. Like I said, they had on high school uniforms, and even Chota makes a reference to annoying teachers on here, you know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming that they are school age. I don't know if you have to wear a uniform in college in Japan. I don't know that, because from what I saw in Golden Time, they didn't. So I'm assuming that these motherfuckers are high school age, but they might just smoke and drink in high school. I don't know. They might be delinquents for all I know, But they meet a woman in this town as they go to this festival sort of thing, whatever. They meet a woman whose name is Shibuki or something like that, and she's participated in the game before, so she's kind of calm and collected or whatever. She knows what to do. It's this big thing in the center of this festival, and it's telling them, your difficulty is level 3. You have to play this game before all the lanterns burn out. And the game is essentially to draw fortune and survive. And Kurube is the first one to draw a fortune. He gets good fortune. The next one to draw a fortune is Chota, and he gets like it's not bad luck, you know what I'm saying, but it wasn't a good fortune, and it was a problem on the side of it that he had to solve that he fucked up. And he said that the answer was 18, but the answer was 15. So they shot some arrows equivalent to the number that he missed, which was 3. And they were flaming arrows that just kind of came from a random direction. So I was just like, ooh, you know. And he had a mask that kind of blocked it. And because he fell, the other 2 arrows, the trajectory was off because he fell backwards. So it was kind of like they landed in front of him where he was previously standing. So I was just like, ooh. And Shibuki went next, and she got a curse. And it was another question that was just unsolvable. And she said that the answer was like 30, but the answer was like 450 something. So they shot the difference of arrows at the motherfuckers. I was just like, ooh, you know. And yeah, man, that dude Shota, he actually got hit by one. You know what I'm saying? And Arisu in the beginning, I was just kind of like, okay, he's thriving for this adventure. But then as the game went on, he turned into a little bitch, like quick as fuck. Like he turned into a bitch real quick. I was just like, ooh, I'm already like not liking this dude if he's the main character, because he turned into a bitch like real quick. I was like, I don't want to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? He just turned into a bitch. But then later on, we see that, you know what I'm saying, he actually did man up, because he has a mind that can just kind of work real quick, and he figured out how this game goes. So he draws his fortune, and it's like great curse, you know what I'm saying? He has the ultimate bad luck, and he realizes how to play this game, you know what I'm saying? Because his question was unsolvable, and he said that the answer was 6.9 billion or something like that. And it actually ended up being that, you know what I'm saying? He was just off by a few numbers, but 6.9 billion was actually in the part range. He just didn't have the other numbers or whatever, so he was off by like a few 100,000, I think. And they shot those arrows at him, you know what I'm saying? And he realized that the direction was coming from the north because of how they captured all the stuff within this fortune slip. And I was just like, wow, this dude's kind of smart. So he grabs a table, and he's shielding everybody, because the table, you know what I'm saying, it's quite a long table, so he's shielding everybody. He's running. They go to a well where Arisu has deducted that this is where the escape for this is going to be. This is how we're going to survive. They go to a well. Kurobei opens it up. They go down there, and it's kind of like this office sort of building with just a cash register there. And they make the announcement that you have won the game. You all have survived, and you all have taken the fortune. Congratulations. And they print them this thing called a visa, and that shows how long you have to stay in the borderland. And then Shibuki just kind of goes to explain the workings of this city to these people. Because their difficulty was level 3, they have 3 days, a 3-day visa to stay in the borderland. So I'm assuming they have to play a game again to continue their stay there. I'm assuming, you know what I'm saying? And then they run into this one cat who just refuses to play a game ever again. All his friends have died. He doesn't want to play anymore. And he gets fucking evaporated, like by this a green flash of light just absorbs him into the fucking sky, and he just dies. And then we see that there's more than one green flash of light. So a lot of people are refusing to play. And when your visa expires, that's what happens. You get absorbed into a beam of light. So I'm assuming if your visa expires and you refuse to play a game, you die. So you have to play another game. That's why she played the game, probably, because she was already a part of that world. So why would she play a game again unless she had to? So that's what I'm assuming. But like I said, though, man, from what I read of this series, like I said, it's new to me because it just popped up on Anime Free. You know what I'm saying? But from what I read, because I kind of looked it up to see who owned it or whatever, because I wanted to see the studio who was behind it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see if that was an opening theme song and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It was, but I just kind of wanted to see about it. You know what I'm saying? And apparently it came out in like 2014, like in October. So why they just now got it, I don't know. But like I said, it's new to me, so I just feel like talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think about this, though, man. Alice in Borderland. Let me know what you think about it, man. Episode 1, Vash Stampede.